All right, I'm going to be talking about web forms, and again, this is using Aweber and the email marketing system that comes with it. Now, web forms are pretty powerful, but first, what is a web form? A web form is nothing more than the way in which you enter information. So let me give you some examples of web forms. I'm going to jump over here. My favorite examples are lightboxes. And you can see this is a web form that I'm using. I use what's called pop-up domination, and this automatically pops up. You can see it causes everything around it to kind of turn the lights off, although you can still make it out. And it really front and center tells you what I'm about, what I'm trying to give you. And, I'm really quick. Hey, I'm going to give you a 47-page ebook. I'm going to email you updates and exclusive offers, and all you need to do is give me your name and your email. Now, most people cut this out, which is fine, but there is around 2% of people actually do enter this information, and that's good. That's actually more than I think most people would actually contact me over here. And so I highly advise using the lightbox. This is a premium one that I'm using that works well with WordPress, again called pop-up domination. And you can also see I use a web form. So you click that off, I actually give them an opportunity to sign up here. And this is pretty much on every page. And this is an inline web form. So the other one was a pop-up web form. This is an inline. So in case they make a decision later on, or they just don't like pop-ups, I give them an opportunity. One you saw there at the top, then boom, there's one right here. And yeah, so that's how I use web forms. And then going over to a tailored suit. Well, this is another pop-up, and you can see that this one isn't as fancy. It's a little bit more plain, but it's got actually a pretty good return as well. And a lot of people will jump in here and give me their basic info. If they don't want to, then again, on my page, I've got another place for them to sign up, and it's right across the top. And it's really quickly big free ebook and MP3 audio. And I try to grab them, especially on a page like this that the links are not, they don't have a lot of pictures or anything, and I'm really trying to get them to give me their information right here. And that's a huge thing. I think a lot of people downplay this, but it's so important that you get their email address. All right, so here is, and this is from a tailored suit. You can see this is the form in which it's called the inline form. And as you can see, since I've started counting this, or since I reset this a while back, but it has been, it looks like at least a couple months, because I've had this pop up almost 200,000 times. And of that 200,000 times, you can see that we've had just under 1,000 people actually give me their info. Now, that's not a great sign-up rate. It's actually less than 1%. But that's not actually that bad relative, because it's an inline form. If you remember, the inline form is this one right here that everybody sees. So a lot of people that are seeing this are actually already members. And so, of course, they're not going to sign up, and they may actually be forcing this number down. Now, the light boxes actually have, as you can see, double, and in some cases quadruple the number of signups. And in fact, this is the one that appears most of the time, and the one that I'm tracking the information on. As you can see, I'm actually doing a split test in which web form number 3 is showing up 90% of the time, because I think it's the most effective one. And then the other two are 5% of the time. And these are ones that I'm testing. And as you can see, the tests are not as effective. I've got 1% and 1.1%. And I probably should eventually move them over to this one. Actually, I take that back, because I think you should always be testing and doing some split tests, because ideally, if I could find something that performed at 3%, then that would be definitely an improvement over this, and would, actually on 100,000 views, a 1% difference, that's right there. That's 1,000 extra signups. So I definitely want to try to optimize this. Now let's look at another list, and this is over at Real Men Real Style. And if you remember the Real Men Real Style, you won't be able to see the pop-up, but you will be able to see my inline right here. And over at Real Men Real Style, you can see that I'm using all inlines. And actually, the reason for this is my inlines actually, because I'm using that WordPress plugin, they actually use pop-up domination, and I can see the effectiveness of pop-up domination. And it's less than 1%. I'm not super, I probably need to go back in and reword this, but you can see that we've had this one pop up 63,000 times, another one pop up 84,000 times. And this one, I believe, is, what is the widget? This is the one that I believe is inline. So the one that you're seeing there on the top right, and so this one, the inline bottom, is actually this one. Let me show you. That's this one right here, and this is at about 0.1%. So I really probably need to look at maybe having it go across here, because people don't seem to notice it and pick it up right here. And I could also, going back, this one right here, the one that uses pop-up domination, actually just has less than 1%. So I probably need to go back and reevaluate that, because it's pretty interesting that the ones over at A Tailored Suit, which are free, are performing better. Now this inline has a 32% sign-up rate. So why do 1 in 3 people sign up for this one, and why are only 993 people looking at this? Well, if you go back to that website, you can see that that one is actually my free ebook page. So if you click on this, this is the inline form, and if you click here, you want the free ebook. So you can see I make a big offer here, and I get a lot of people that sign up. I probably need to reevaluate this and figure out how I can get more people to this page versus, trying to always get them signed up on this one right here, which, it's a mix, and I don't say there's a right or wrong answer to it, but it does force you to think about this, which is good. Test, test, test. That's probably the big thing with web forms, and that is it for web forms. So hopefully this makes a little bit of sense, and again, you can take emails multiple ways. The big ones are inline and pop-up boxes, and I will say that light boxes, pop-ups, whatever you want to call them, a lot of people don't like them. I think that they're very, very important, very powerful, and as you can see, the effectiveness rate is quite a bit more. Here they're 7 times more effective, and if you go over to you look at A Tailored Suit, you can see that the light boxes are 4 times as effective as the inline. Okay.